Do you know how many passing techniques exist in FC25? 10? 15? Well, you got it all wrong. There are 29 different types of passing variations, and if you're surprised by that count, then there are some of the variations that you're missing out. In this video, we will show you how to execute them, in which situations they become useful, and which playstyles increase their effectiveness, so you can let us know in the comments below how many of them are completely new for you. Let's start with the normal passes. These are the simplest passing methods you can use during the game, and they will be affected by the ping pass and tiki-taka playstyles. You can target the player with your left analog stick and press your X or A button to send a ground pass. This pass is intended directly to the receiver's feet, and it's the most common technique. Make sure there is no one between your passer and the target when you're going for a ground pass. If the defender positions himself correctly between the passer and the receiver, the ground pass can easily be intercepted. In these cases, the next variation, the lofted passes, could become a decent tool. All you need to do is to double tap the passing button rapidly, and you will see that your player gives the ball a little height instead of going for a normal ground pass. Next up, 1-2 pass. With this, your initial passer starts to run towards forward right after he passes the ball to his target. To execute it, hold on to your L1, LB button and pass the ball towards your receiver. After that, watch your initial players run. I usually use the 1-2 pass whenever my current player has a potential space to explore ahead of him. Watching him run after the 1-2 initiation and rewarding him with a good pass is going to be the key. This passing method becomes incredibly strong if combined with other passing methods. The driven ground pass is a much stronger version of the normal ground pass. To be able to send a driven pass, hold on to your R1, RB button and power up a normal pass. Try to use this pass in the situations where your passer is not under any pressure. In certain tight situations, this pass can help your receiver get the ball much faster, and with that you can create the opportunity you need. Therefore, it could be risky but also very rewarding. One super combination that I use a lot in this game is the driven 1-2 pass. Your player sends a strong and accurate pass towards your target and right afterwards starts running forward to create space for himself. To execute it, simply hold on to your both L1, LB and R1, RB buttons together and power up the pass. Ground passes seem to be clear when you need to pass the ball directly at your player's feet. However, sometimes you need to pass the ball to their running lane, and this is where you need to work with the through balls. Especially if you have runners in the space, these will allow you to receive the ball without losing any speed. The incisive pass and the long ball playstyles are key. Point out the direction your runner is heading with your left analog stick and power up the through pass with your triangle or Y button. In case someone tries to anticipate this passing lane and tries to cut the route of the pass and let the runner get in behind the defensive line, you can always chip the ball over them towards your player's running lane with a lob through pass. Watch your players run and observe if the opponent is anticipating it. If not, hold on to your L1, LB button and power up the through pass. This method still seems to be very strong this year, so make sure you reward your players' run in behind the defensive line. Another through pass variation is the lofted one. Similar to the lob through pass, lofted through pass can easily dodge the defender's interception and get the ball towards your running lane. Double tapping the triangle or Y button will allow you to execute it. It is much easier to control the ball with this method compared to the lob one in short distances. You can manually aim where the through pass goes with the precision through pass. Hold on to your R1, RB button and power up the through ball. The more you power up, the distance that the ball travels become longer. In the meantime, you need to aim the direction precisely with your left analog stick. It is really hard to get used to, but it can become very strong if you can master it. Assisted through balls might not exactly end up where we want them to, but the precision through pass is very helpful with it. If you already know where the runner is heading and the space you've got, then try to get the most out of the precision through pass. Finally, the driven through pass could become very useful in wider spaces. It is faster and stronger compared to the normal one. They can be executed by holding out both L1, LB and R1, RB buttons together and powering a through pass. If you see a runner ahead of you who has a lot of space ahead of him and may receive the ball in longer distances, you can go for a driven through pass and allow him to receive the ball in further spots closer to the opposition goal. During your passing flow, you will sometimes need to pass the ball to a direction you are not facing, and this is where Flair passes can become real handy. To execute a Flair ground pass, hold on to your L2, LT button while passing. With the extra animations, these will allow you to go for one-touch passes that can't be done with a normal pass without controlling the ball. Same goes for the through balls. Instead of sending the ball directly towards your player's location, you can send a flare pass towards the receiver's running lane with the extra animation. Simply hold on to the L2 LT button before powering up a through pass when you need a special animation. If you're feeling lost already with all of these passing techniques, don't worry, because we have the perfect platform, the Guide Plus, where we show you all of the mechanics related to the FC25 in detail. Our season pass, which includes all of our content, is currently on a remarkable discount, so make sure to check the links in the description if you don't want to miss it out. Moving on to the Lob Pass section, again the long ball playstyle is going to be a key one. By only using the square or X button, you can achieve a lot of things, especially when you are facing pressure. Using a simple lob pass easily lets you break the pressure. You can also switch sides with the lob pass to get your build up in another direction. If you want your lob pass to get even higher, which can be very useful for the players who have aerial advantage, you can hold on to your L1 LB button before going for a lob pass. This high lob pass will give your pass more height and the headers become easier. Driven lob pass on the other side does exactly the opposite. Your pass loses height but gains speed, which can be very practical if there is no one between your passer and his target. To be able to use it, hold on to both L1 R1 or LB RB buttons together and power up a lob pass. Using this method while switching sides is very effective if you are not under any pressure. It allows you to get towards the other side rapidly, and you can increase the pace in your build-up before the defense settles. Similar to the through passes, lob passes can also be executed in a precise way. Hold on to your R1 RB button and go for a lob pass in the same fashion. The manual aim allows you to exactly pinpoint where your lob pass ends, and with it you can both dodge the defenders who are pressuring your passer and receive the ball safely with your target. When you execute the lob pass around the opposition box, they will become crosses. The whipped pass playstyle can give an extra curve to your crosses. The more you press the crossing button, the more distance the ball travels, as usual. That means you have to take a look at your target, decide how much power you need to give to your cross, and finish the opportunity once the cross gives you the advantage. Same as in the previous sections, crosses have different variations. The high cross, which is performed by holding on to the L1 LB while pressing the crossing button, lifts the ball up high. This will decrease the chance of the ball getting intercepted. As you see here, even if the defender tries to cut off the pass, he can't reach the ball and the ball ends exactly where you want it to be. With this method, you can create good heading opportunities. Where you have the opportunity to get the cross higher, there is always the opposite. The driven cross, which makes your cross go lower but faster, helps in certain situations. Hold on to the L1 LB and R1 RB buttons together and power up the crossing button to get a faster and more accurate cross towards your target. I find this method very useful once I explore the wing to make a cutback, and my winger on the other side makes a cut inside the box to make himself available. If you don't want to make this cutback, the low cross is a huge mechanic which sends the ball towards your target on the ground with a curve. To be able to execute it, you need to double tap the crossing button. This pass is super strong whenever I approach the box from the side with my winger, and my striker makes his move towards the goal. With the little curve low crosses give, your striker only needs to do the finishing touch. Low cross this year is definitely the strongest crossing variation for me, and you should use them more often in your game plan. You can also combine these both together with the driven low cross. Hold on to your L1 LB and R1 RB together and double tap the crossing button. This will make the ball travel incredibly fast on the ground towards your target and make it really hard for defenders to catch. Swerve On Demand allows you to have an extra curve with your ground, through, and precision ground passes to create a new passing type. Incisive pass playstyle plays a huge role here. Holding on to the L2 LT button and powering up a normal pass more than 2 bars will execute a swerve ground pass. Depending on your player's ability to curve, this method gives the pass another path towards the receiver. You can also use this method with the through passes. Hold on to the L2 LT button, point out the running lane of your attacker, and power up the through ball. This variation works extremely well with wingers. If you want to pass the ball towards the runner but not sure if a normal through ball will be intercepted or not, try to give the ball an extra curve with the Swerve On Demand and see how incredible the ball goes. And finally, combining a couple of features together. Swerve Precision Through Pass. It is going to be a bit harder than the Swerve Through Pass, but being able to select the exact point where your through pass is going to land will give you the upper hand to go for a deadly pass. Hold on to R1 and L2 or RB and LT together, power up the through pass, and in the meanwhile, select the precise point of your desire. You will need extra practice to get used to both the mechanic itself and the practical usage. Coming to our last section, the outside foot passes, which can only be performed by players with the Trivela playstyle. The general usage of this method is to avoid your player's weak foot. If you have the ball towards your player's weak foot and don't trust it, you can hold on to the L2, LT button while passing and use the outside of your strong foot instead of using the weak one. It works the same way with the through passes, and it might also give a little curve as well. Holding on to the L2, LT button and going for a through ball while you're not facing the side your strong foot is allows you to go for an outside through pass. Using this can create many opportunities without having to switch between your feet and lose time. You can also use outside the foot passes in long distances. Switching sides is incredibly fast and accurate with the outside lob passes. Holding on to the L2 LT modifier and powering up a long ball towards the other side of the pitch will allow you to execute this method. Same goes for the crossing. If you're about to cross the ball with a player who has a trivela playstyle and have the ball towards his weak foot, try to cross the ball with the outside of his foot, hold L2, LT and power up your crossing. I find this crossing method extremely stronger than the normal one. Make sure you give it a go. And finally, outside lob through passes. This passing method allows you to avoid your weak foot and add a little curve to the pass, but also lift the ball up towards your player's running lane, which creates a very unique passing opportunity. To execute it, hold on to your both L1, L2 or LB, LT buttons together and power up the through ball. I mostly try to use this in the wing where I want to reward the runner who is getting in behind the defensive line. The little curve of the outside the foot effect also helps him to get the ball a bit more towards his running lane, which will reduce the difficulty of him receiving the ball. Well, that was a quick rundown and now you know every single passing technique. Do you also want to know how to get rid of the opponent using the maximum pace you have with 2 special methods? Then definitely click the video that appears on your screen right now and explore new attacking grounds. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, take care and peace.